Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NJPW Puroresu Review. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right over here, it's the angry princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
Angry? I'm not angry. I left my anger at the gym, my guy. I am doing great, Andre. It has been an interesting day. It's the middle of the week. I for some reason thought we were doing more review tonight, and I panic watched a 3 hour show, which means I'm ahead of the game. So hey,
No,
go anxious Melball.
we are only doing nights 10 and 11 today, which is the
Correct.
July 30th and the August 1st shows. I have not watched it is August 2nd as we record this. I'm watching that show later tonight. We can record it tomorrow, and that'll be up on Thursday for you, you guys, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be dropping that on Thursday.
But before we move on, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing, or sorry, it'll be dropping on Friday. Today Wednesday.
Stay with us. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I don't sorry, that show will be dropping on Friday. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That show will be dropping Friday. But yeah, I'm doing okay. I've had a really good day today. Went and saw the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem with my mom. Because my mom was the one who pretty much fueled my turtle love as a child. So I asked her, I'm like, do you want to go see this movie with me? And she was like, yes. Yes, I do. I very much enjoyed it. Like like probably one of the best Turtles movies I've ever seen. And so I am very excited for what comes next. But what comes next is we're going to talk some professional wrestling.
Yes.
But before we get into that, I want to thank all of you wonderful, wonderful people for all the great support you've given us, the liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, commenting down below, which we'd love to hear from you. All the great people reaching out, Jason, MTG, a couple, so many others, just lots of great people reaching out. We love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much. And please comment down below because we want to talk to you. We want to talk professional wrestling. We want to know what you feel about how we feel about professional wrestling and how it compares to what you feel. All the good fun
Tell
stuff.
Andre when he's wrong.
Yeah. Don't tell Melball when she's wrong. Melball is the one that's always wrong.
Never.
But you can also you can also hit the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video, like the Chop Talk we just dropped, like the Stardom we just dropped. So please check those up by hitting the notification bell down below.
Ding dong.
Hello.
Yes.
Shut up. We are going to get into this, ladies and gentlemen. It's a G133 tropical, as I like to use. I love that graphic.
It's so cute.
It works perfectly. So tropical in Japan, right? It's all tropical over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kick it off, and I can't get over how good that photo looks. I know we talked about it last time.
Mm-hmm.
But god damn, when they finally updating the graphics with this new with the tats on his face, and I understand why they didn't for the first few nights because those were out literally before the first show happened, so it was a big reveal. God damn, it blends to his gear.
Yeah. It has a very fun effect, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. So we kick it off. It's David Finlay with Gato taking on Henare. They start out brawling. Henare ends up dropping Finlay, hits a beautiful senton. They end up on the floor. Finlay runs Henare into the barricades and starts slamming his head into the barricade like,
Vital.
This is also the man that keeps hitting headbutts, so I shouldn't be going with him. This is the man that keeps hitting headbutts.
True.
Finlay in first control of the match until Henare gets the pop-up Samoan drop and then starts landing the punches to the body in the corner and hits up a Zerker bomb for 2. Finlay fights off the Rampage, hits a DDT on another Rampage attempt, and sticking him with strikes to the neck from behind, then hits that lariat to the back of the neck for 2. Henare misses in the corner. Finlay pushes Henare to the floor, runs his head into the post off his shoulders, and then he hits back of the ring, hits the blue thunder bomb for 2. Henare stops the trash panda and hits the knee strikes, but gets tossed into the corner. Finlay headbutts Henare, and that was laughable. But Henare hits a hard-ass headbutt to Finlay, and the knee in the corner. and the Rampage, but Streets of Rage is countered into a backslide, which is transformed into the Trash Panda for the win.
I love it. I love it because all I can hear is Kevin Oblivion in the back of my head. Oblivion. No, that is not the move, sir.
And that's the name of a flatliner out of the ropes that Liv Morgan does.
That also Waka does.
Yeah, but
we digress. Yeah, that pop up that Hanare did, like he was all the way up on that one. Holy hecking crap! I thought he was going to lose him. Such a great opener. This was a very dominant match, and what I really liked about it is that it didn't take away from Hanare's dominance, and it didn't take away from Finley's either. These two worked so well together that despite the loss, Hanare still looks very, very dominant and strong coming out of this match. And I really, really enjoy how the last couple matches of his have done that for him. Mm-hmm. I really felt Finley. I mean, relentless is a word I've been using like throughout this entire tournament. And once again, I'm using it in this situation. Finley was relentless in his attack on Hanare's neck. Since Mikey Nichols kind of, dropped him on his head, that has been an obvious sore spot for Hanare having the tape. And this time he had cupping. Did you see all across his shoulders and down the entirety of his back? Mm-hmm. He messed his ish up with that thing. Mm-hmm. Don't like that move. Don't want to see it again. Yeah, this was a fun opener. Very, very fun, hard-hitting opener. Very strong style kind of match. I really enjoyed this one.
Essentially two guys really roughing each other up and getting the crowd fired up with the rough up style. I think it really, really did work. We move on to this fucking match. So Yano coming out looking a little bloated at the start of the match. Must have been hitting up those buffets everywhere,
It's the curry.
Yeah, Yano pulling Cobb down by his hair. Cobb opens the shirt of Yano and falls out. Tape falls out. I think a towel and like beer and snacks. They all fall out of his shirt. And Yano's very confused. So Cobb hits a spin cycle, picks up a beer, drinks it, goes to do the standing moonsault, but Yano gets the knees up, and this is where Cobb spits the beer out. That looked really good.
It did.
So Yano gets the low blow into the backslide, but cannot get the win. So Yano gets the cold spray from the corner. He gets a chair, and the ref takes the chair, so Yano can use the cold spray and rolls Cobb off for the win in 1 minute and 49 seconds. Cobb has been having a spectacular tournament this freaking year, and he had the job to Yano. Like shit. Like, come on.
Yeah. I was not happy with this, not one bit. And I kind of, unfortunately, as soon as he opened the beer and started to take a drink of it, I was like, fudge, muffins, McSpaz. This is happening. He's not going to win this match. As soon as you start full on playing into the Yano shenanigans, you've lost the match.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like, yeah, the end of this match for me, my reaction was a facepalm.
Well, the end of this match was also the beginning of this match because it was literally less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, like it's just my reaction to it was just like, come on, Jeff. Man, I mean, I get that Yano needs to have some things, but like he could have had those a little bit. So there were people earlier in the tournament that he could have picked up some points over. Jeff Cobb, he is a beast. Why do this to him? Like, I get that he can have that goofy side, but like,
if they would have been goofy, still let him beat him. Still let him beat him.
Yeah.
Like, let him be goofy, but have him beat him. Like, that's my biggest issue with this.
Yeah. And like, honestly, it's like, it still doesn't make Cobb look weak. He just fell victim to the shenanigans. But like, we can have that in other matches. This is the G1. Put on your serious pants a little bit. This was a little disappointing for me. It was shenanigans, but thank goodness it wasn't House of Torture shenanigans.
Yeah, and Cobb has a really good record so far. And all he has is Saber and Haste and Goto after this. In reality, he could have I would have been okay with him dropping one to those two instead of Yano. Like I understand Gato has G1 math, and certain people have to lose and win certain matches to make his results end up the right way. I get that, but goddamn,
yeah, it's just it felt weird.
Very, very weird.
Not a vibe.
No, well, it was a vibe, just not a good one.
It was not a vibe. Not a vibe.
Now we move on to a pretty darn good hitting match. These two beat the crap out of each other. I quite enjoyed it. Again, Eddie is on this roll of I'm enjoying. Again, this wasn't my favorite match of his so far this tournament, but it was a good match. I enjoyed it. It's a match I enjoyed from Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the tone of this tournament. I wrote down a weird thing in the first of my notes here. I'm hoping that you can explain this to me. I said the ring around the Rosie ring spot was funny.
Oh, where they kept whipping each other?
That's probably what it was.
It was kind of reminiscent of, what is it, Goto and Yano? Sort of.
That sounds like it.
They were whipping each other into the barricade over and over again. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was it. Maybe I'm wrong here. I didn't take a crazy amount of notes for this because there was just a lot of guys beating the shit out of each other. So like Nicholas slapping Eddie hard off the break out of that corner there was just
the slap to Kingston I wrote down was hilarious.
And then he dodges the back fist, hits that backdrop suplex, and Eddie goes to the floor and hits the plancha. And then I think that's where the ring around the Rosie spot. I didn't really write it down, but I remember them being. I think it was one guy would toss in the barricade, and another guy would toss in the barricade. It was kind of like it's going back.
They were kind of like working their way to it with their Irish whippies.
Yeah, so they were really nice camel clutch by Nichols, and he's pulling at the face of Eddie as he's doing it, which I really did like because Nichols isn't as much as I love him and his team. Team DK aren't traditional good guys, so them doing those little things, I really did like it. And every time Eddie's trying to fight back, Nichols is cutting him off, which is just a really good flow to the match. Eddie hits a bulldog off the second rope, follows up with the speed chops in the corner, and gets the running boot. Then the fisherman neckbreaker for 2. Eddie with the hard chops, the exploder, then the Saito, then the half and half, and the sliding elbow, but still could only get 2. I'm just like, oh. So he goes for the spinning back fist at the end. Nichols blocks it. Nichols hits an enziguri. Then Eddie hits a spinning back fist and gets the win. Again, really good match. 8 minutes and 33 seconds, but really good. Like they kept it shorter, and I think that really helped these two in this match. And they just didn't go too long, didn't do too much.
I really did enjoy this match, and as we mentioned, Eddie Kingston has just been like showing up and showing out on this tournament, and I'm loving it. If I could be fully honest, though, of all of the matches I've seen him in, I feel like this one was it was a solid match, but it was underwhelming. There wasn't as much showmanship happening in this one, so there wasn't. It was just a straight up wrestling match, whereas before he's usually doing a combination of really over animating, over eccentric, yelling. Like Nichols is not that kind of dude, so there was no reason for Eddie to respond like that. So it does make sense to me that it didn't happen. That being said, though,
just that I feel like if he got somebody good in the States, this is what you would get: a good match with a good worker. It felt like a U.S. match, but not in a bad way.
No, not in a bad way at all. It was in a good way, especially in an NJPW kind of setting. It's really hard sometimes to work those fully U.S. shows over with the crowd, and the crowd was very, very into this match. And something I noticed is that I don't think Nichols does a ton of aerials, but he did do a couple crossbodies and jumps in this match. So I really liked that kind of change up to kind of adapt to that style that Eddie Kingston does kind of have. There was that one point where Nichols bit Eddie's head. And like, I mean, Nichols has kind of been doing that, so it kind of made sense. But like, did you see his reaction after? Kind of gave me a Kasai reaction, because like he came up and then he reacted like there was something in his teeth. And like my first reaction was, no, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
So I had a Jun Kasai reaction to that. The finish felt very sudden and very instantaneous, and I actually kind of liked that because we've been having G1s in the past that have always gone to either pinfall submission, pinfall submission, pinfall submission. This G1 has been super exciting in that we have those pinfalls, we have those submissions, but we also have these going to time limit draws. We've had a lot of them in this tournament. We've
double
had countouts. We've like this is the most variety of finishes that I think we've ever had in a G1 tournament, and it's making it super exciting. For me, actually, the instantaneousness of the ending of this match actually kind of brought me back into it. And I was like, hey, whoa, I didn't expect that to happen at all. So yeah.
100%. Like, again, that 20-minute time limit has done wonders for this tournament.
So good. Yeah. So good. Best decision they ever made.
And we'll talk about it on night 11. We still get long-ass matches that play with that time limit. We got it with Sonata and Kaito Kiyomiya. That was 2 seconds away from the end of the match that it ended. So, again, they can still play those long matches, but it doesn't feel – it's not a 27-minute match. It's 19 minutes. It's 20 minutes. It feels feasible.
I agree.
We move on to Tetsuya Naito versus Angry Alex Coughlin. This was
Alex.
Just tossing shit as usual. Naito rolling out to avoid Angry Alex. Dodging clotheslines, doing his LIJ pose. Just Naito gets the head scissors, or the Tahares, as Kevin started saying on this show. But Alex hits the fall away slam, sending Naito to the floor. He starts tossing him into barricades. And Alex rolls in and does his own little pose where he's just like... like possessed.
Yeah. Yeah, not a vibe.
And then Naito's on the rope, so Angry Alex grabs him and gut wrenches him over the ropes back into the ring. I was really impressed with that one.
Yes.
Angry Alex getting the chops in the corner and spits in the face of Naito. Naito fights back. He gets combinacion, spit, capron, but he only gets a 1 count out of that. Angry Alex lifts Naito, who has the cravat, and hits a backbreaker and then a back suplex. Like really good. Like empowering him up with the cravat on. It looked really good. Angry Alex turns his tornado DDT into a powerbomb for 2. Enziguri by Naito, but he gets put up into the suplex off the running Destino, but gets elbows and comes down. But Alex gets a black hole slam and a lariat for 2. The suplex is turned into a Destino, but it can only get 2, so Naito hits the proper Destino for 1, 2, 3, and Tetsuya Naito pins Alex Coughlin.
And it was barely, man. It was barely. Naito had to work super hard with this one. Alex was just freaking yeeting him all over the place. The amount of answers that Coughlin had for Destino at the end there was just unreal. Like, whoever faces Naito next, take notes. Like, this will be the guy you want to watch if you want to figure out how to reverse that Destino. I did not like the spitting. There's too much katooies. Keep that ish in your mouth. Swallow. That fall away slam that Coughlin did was absolute perfection. You didn't do it justice, sir. It was so good.
He yeeted him.
It was so good. It was just picture perfect. If you wanted to see what the definition of that was, fall away slam, you would see this, a gif of this. It was absolutely incredible. I really enjoyed this match. This was a solid match for Coughlin, and Naito gave him a lot.
And then we got this.
And then we got this.
I'm not going to recap this one because I as much as I love Ishii, this match sucked.
It did.
Even the good little wrestling spots that they did have are just so overshadowed by the crap. Evil attacking at the start, running into the barricades. The one highlight is Kevin calling Oscar a good boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was a mess. This really was a mess. And Ishii could not save it. I mean, at this point, I don't think Ishii cared about saving you. He just wanted to wreck shit, and he did. Sort of.
Just imagine every evil tactic that they have at the evil Togo tactics. They did it all. Togo was garroting him at one point in the match. They hit Magic Killer. At the end of the match,
the announcer.
They smashed Abe-san. The biggest part of this match that annoyed me more than anything was the end. So the Brainbuster gets reversed, and Evil pulls the ref in while holding Ishii. And Togo comes in and just place kicks him right in the nuts. Like football place kick style kick into the nuts. Evil gets everything as evil and gets the win.
I mean, and even then, I picked this mofo because I knew the shenanigans would get points, but they're dirty points.
Mm-hmm.
They're so dirty. I literally had 3 notes about this match. One of them was so much shenanigans. Then another one was when Kevin mentioned that Evil had won every single bout against Ishii, and on commentary, he mentioned that since joining Bullet Club, Evil has won every singles meeting between him and Ishii. So I was like, oh, well, I guess that means I'm not getting 2 points. I kind of took that as a foreshadowing of this is Ishii's time to finally catch vengeance for all of the, wins that Evil has shenaniganly gotten over him since joining Bullet Club. But nay. There was no foreshadowing. It was just straight out fact. The last note that I had was annoyed. That was literally all I wrote, was annoyed. Yeah. This was horrible.
And that's, I think, about all we're going to talk about this match. So we're going to move on to a really fucking good match.
Yes.
Zack Sabre Jr., Shane Haste, both cornered by Kosei Fujita.
That little guy was just running all over the place.
So, anyway, this match goes. I get 2 points because I have both these guys in our pool.
You do.
So I was good either way. So Fujita comes out with Shane Haste. They're doing the whole thing. And Haste had his hat back, didn't he? He did.
Yes. He had his back.
And then runs back up to the top, goes behind the curtain, and comes out with Sabre. And then Fujita's posts up in the neutral in the one of the white pad corners. I love that. And Shane is saying, "Hey, come get." He's like, "You come to my corner. You can have my hat." He's trying to say, "You have my hat if you come corner me." And you see Fujita staying stance, staying right in that white corner. I'm like,
my boy,
good kid. So really good chain wrestling and hold reversals to start the match. I think Sabre really got to work really great technically there. Showing how good of a pro wrestler he basic level wrestling. He's how good he is at it. Sabre working the arm. Shane slips out and hard kicks Sabre in the back, but it goes, I'm sorry. It was just that he's getting into that mode and he just hard kicks and he's like, shit, this is my boy.
You pay me.
And then he started trading strikes, and it was Sabre getting the arm pulled back, getting the arm pull submission, and he transfers into almost a Doki Choki.
It does.
But
I got excited.
But Saber slipped through it really fast. But yeah, it was almost a Doki Choki.
Almost.
Hayes' just the kicks in this match were phenomenal. His kicks were solid. He tries a sharpshooter at one point, but Saber gets out. Saber gets the PK to the back, and then the snapmare and the neck crank thing.
Love
and
that.
Gets another one after, like he catches, like Shane's running into a corner and catches, slams his head down and does a neck crank. That Tsuji slam down with the feet thing, and does the neck crank again. Again, really good. They're both on their knees and they're doing the strike exchange, rising up, and they're just like they both like have quite the sound on the chop. Both of them are just cracking each other. They hit dual chops, then dual boots. But Saber keeps his head enough to hit the PK when Hayes goes down. Hayes with the knee to the quad, stopping a Zack driver, and hits a sit-out powerbomb for 2. But Saber reverses the penalty kick into the SDF and transitions into a double arm bar thing. Then transitions into the triangle. That's where Hayes, when he transitions the triangle, he literally pulled Hayes to the ropes almost. Saber gets the PK, but Hayes hits a lariat. But Saber gets a rear naked choke, but Hayes gets a backdrop. The Black Valley Death, which is that off the shoulders Uranagi. That I think that's because I swear he yelled Black Valley Death. I don't know, but I think that's what he said. I don't know. Which is that off the shoulders Uranagi that Hayes does. Gets turned into an arm triangle, but Saber Saber tries to do an arm triangle, but Hayes stops it. But Saber ends up getting the Euro clutch for the win. It's kind of out of nowhere, and again, having these little quick wins from people out of here, like we said, Eddie just hitting that back fist and dropping on top of the opponent. Saber catching these like Euro clutches. I love it.
Like I said, it adds that diversity and variety to the tournament that makes it very, very fun and very, very exciting because you get to a point where it's like, I'm at a point where it's like, what's going to happen on the next show? Like, what are they going to do to surprise me there?
Yeah, and then they end up sitting on the apron together. They're like, we're chill. And then Saber makes Fujita carry Hayes to the back, like piggyback style.
I mean, he lost the match. He needs the help.
Oh, it was so good. Just watching Fujita like literally It's usually like they have just the arm around the guy and they help him to the back. He is literally piggybacking Hayes to the back.
I mean, I would do the same thing, but I'm also 5'3".
Yeah.
So can't relate. Shane's a lot bigger than I am. Yeah, I didn't have a whole ton on this because I knew you would. Because this was definitely a you match. I really felt that they didn't really pull much of anything. These two kind of went hard on each other, and who better to know you than your own teammate, right? This is a really fun match.
I really, really enjoyed it. So we move on to the semi-main event of night number 10, of day number 10, whatever you want to call it. Amazing. Shingo Takagi, Tama Tonga, they just brawl back. They're just brawling early. Shingo lariating Tama into the corner, then gets him on his shoulder and tosses him off face first. And he just goes face first into the mat. It's just like, oh. I love the sneaky fake out punch into the DDT by Takagi. It's just so smooth that he goes, huh, and he'll do it just enough for the I can honestly believe it in real life. He would fake somebody out with this and he ducks and just bang that DDT. Just so smooth.
It is one of my favorite moves that he does, where he drags you in with that, usually a back elbow of some kind, and then the fist, and then he goes for the lariat, but he fakes you. I love it. It's so good.
I love Shingo thinking he's smooth by sliding off the shoulders of Tama onto the apron, but Tama gets the gun stun onto the ropes. Love that you can hit that pretty much anywhere. Lots of counters, and then Shingo hits the pop-up powerbomb for 2.
So good.
Gets the ground cobra, but Tama eventually does get to the ropes. Tama does a sunset flip through Last of the Dragon into a sharpshooter. But Shingo gets the ropes. I loved him putting a sharpshooter on. Tama gets the SRC and Supreme Pull for 2. And Shingo hits a Tiger Driver 93. Very reminiscent of, I'm saying 93 because that's what Ospreay's calling his move. So Tiger Driver 93, just literally dropping Tama on his head. Like, god damn.
Yeah.
And Shingo gets 2. Tongan twist on the Bloody Sunday by Tama. He gets a pop, and then Shingo gets a pop-up cutter and a lariat for 2. We're down to 1 minute, and you're just like, and when I heard the women, I'm like, holy shit, this has been going for 19 minutes. I was like, dang, this is so good.
Yeah.
Headbutt sliding lariat by Shingo only gets 1. Last of the Dragon countered into the gun stun, but Tama gets delayed on the cover, only gets 2, and it's like 20 seconds left. Shingo goes for this is like I live like 10 seconds left. So Shingo goes for the jackknife cover, but the bell expires before he can get 3. Goddamn, did these two kill it in probably an amazing draw. Like, just amazing.
Yeah.
And of all the draws, well, I loved the Young Lion draws. They were great. I loved this. Fuck, was so good.
With the Young Lion draws, I feel like it's like this is them stepping onto the big stage for them and like showing the crowd what it is that they're capable of doing. We haven't seen what the best these young boys have to offer us. Whereas with Tama and Shingo, they've been around a hot minute. They've been in some high profile stuff already. These guys are fighting for supremacy at this point. And this was just a straight out strong style freaking match. I freaking loved this match. You know I was here for this.
Mm-hmm.
I had neither one of these two in my freaking block. Makes me sad. But yeah, I was really impressed with how well Tama hung with Shingo. I mean, I knew that you could, but like we haven't seen them really tango too much together.
No.
And like Shingo, the former IWGP champion, Tama, I think the highest belt he's had is the Never Openweight. So, to see him.
I think that's his only singles title, actually.
I think you're probably right about that, but I'm not sure. But yeah, to see these two equals pretty much in the ring was so impressive. And like, I just loved it. Such a great match.
Oh, absolutely tremendous. These two, like, it's one of those where it's 2 meaty men slapping meat.
I actually would have preferred this to be the main.
Yeah. When I saw, and after watching this match and then not having that, I understand why it wasn't the main, because a 20-minute draw. I understand why you don't finish that, but like, I don't, as much as I love Tanahashi and Goto, I think they did a good job. They didn't deserve this spot. I don't think. Like,
I agree.
Sabre and Haste, I think, would have been a better main event. Like, there's so many things that could have been a better main event in the end.
I definitely feel like this one probably could have been match 6, but I definitely think Shingo and Tama was main, and Haste and Zach would have been a great semi.
But again, I get why New Japan wouldn't do that as the main.
Yes, 100%.
So really good brawling to start between Tanahashi and Goto. Tana gets the Dragon Screw leg grip in the ropes on the inside. Then he does it again in the ropes when he's on the apron. Tana really working the knees, working the ribs. Goto does the change of direction finally and gets a solid lariat to Tanahashi, where really good. Gets the wheel kick in the corner and the backdrop driver for 2. So Goto lariats Tana to the floor. Then Goto goes out and just slides him back in and goes up to the top, but gets cut off. They brawl up on top, but Goto knocks Tana off. But Tana comes back up and dragon screws him off the top. Absolutely phenomenal. And then when they get up, Tana hits Sling Blade. He hits a straight jacket German for 2, but misses the high fly flow. So Goto goes to work. Ushi-Garoshi, but can't get. We can't. You can't get the cover. I wrote the over, not the cover. I missed the C. I apologize. He tries for a GTR, but then he hits some safe headbutts, like to the collarbone and chest. So he's not like gonna. hematoma each other. Then he gets him up on the shoulders, hits the GTW, but only gets 2. Goto gets the suplex, but Tana comes collapsing down on him during the suplex on Goto for 2 and gets a 2 count. Tana gets the sling blade, goes up, aces high, goes back up, high fly flow. Tanahashi gets another 2 points.
Given the severity of Goto's kind of rib issue in his match before, I kind of figured he wasn't going to win this. I am surprised, though, that Tanahashi did get this win. Not because... how do I say that? Tana is one of those guys, I mean, I love him to death, but my goodness, like, I really do truly feel like we're probably going to see this guy's career end in a ring, and that horrifies me. I don't want to see that, but he goes so hard, and the guy's knees are just, they're hella fucked. Like, and this match for me really showcased how hella fucked his knees are. The guy struggles to make it down to the ring, let alone through the match. I'm very, very, very concerned about him and his health and safety, but I'm also concerned about what this means for other people in this tournament and what it means for them potentially going forward also. Yeah, I don't have a ton to add to this. I didn't take a ton of notes on this one. It just kind of was another one of those like sudden kind of ends for me where I wasn't expecting the end that I got, but I felt it was merciful given the situation for both these guys.
I actually thought Goto was going to get the win here and he was going to be the one in contention going into the last couple of days. I really did. I don't know. I'm crazy though.
I mean, like I said, both of these guys are pretty injured with pretty substantial injuries right now. I mean, it's kind of which one would be the lesser injured one going in.
Yeah. So I'm going to give a quick rundown of the points. Going to make that big. We have David Finlay and Evil on top with 8 points each. Tama Tonga with 7. Eddie Kingston with 6. Shingo Takagi with 5. And then eliminated are Mikey Nichols, Aaron Henare, and Tomohiro Ishii each with 2 points. Because again, that is a 5-horse race still in the C block.
Crazy.
But talk about a bigger race. I'm looking at a 6-horse race in the D block, ladies and gentlemen. You have Jeff Cobb and Sabre on top with 8 points. You have Naito, Tanahashi with 6. You still have Goto and Haste with 4 points each, and they still each have two. They all have 2 matches left. You have Coughlin and Yano eliminated with 2 points. But you could still have, like, if Haste wins 2 straight, he could still, and other people lose the right things, he could still get in there. Like, there's always things, you know what I mean? Because say Cobb lose to Haste, and then Haste picks up the win over Toriano. That puts him at 8 points with the decision over Cobb. If Cobb doesn't get any more points in this tournament, again, there's so many different things you can do.
That's true. That's true. I just hope that it's simple enough that I don't need to do the math on it, because we know how great Melball is at math.
Yeah, so we're going to go over night 11, and that will kind of give us a set for what pretty much who is going to be in contention going into the final A block show and B block shows. So this will be the second last match for everybody. So we kick it off with Kaito Kiyomiya versus Hikuleo Machado. Hikuleo beating up Kaito early on the floor. He's smacking him up, hot shotting him into the barricade. Back in the ring, Kaito's attacking the knee, really working over the leg. Hikuleo getting that lariat in the corner, the hot shot, and then the other lariat for 2. Then hits another lariat for 2. Kaito catches a big boot, hits a beautiful dragon screw, especially to such a big dude. It looked like he crushed a leg. Then he hits the drop kick off the top to the knee. applies the Muto figure 4, and Hikuleo struggles, but he does get to the ropes for the break. Tiger suplex by Kaito, and again, this man is much bigger than him. Get the 2 count, but Hikuleo fights off the half and half suplex, and Hikuleo gets the power slam. Kaito gets a Dragon Rana off a choke slam for 2. And then the end of the match comes where Kaito goes running, and Hikuleo catches him with that power slam, picks him up, choke slam, and Hikuleo pins Kaito Kiyomiya. Yeah. I did not expect that finish.
Me neither. And to say that I am disappointed is a bit of an understatement because that was 2 points for me. Yeah, the target absolutely was the D for Kaito in this. And like smart, like take the big man down. It takes away a lot of his power. That's part of his ability to stand and remained at that 7 foot tall kind of, stature there. So I think it was very, very smart of Kaito because especially when, choke slam, you need both of your legs to sustain that other person going up and down. So yeah, the figure 4 was phenomenal. I mean, to see, you don't usually see Hikuleo trapped in things like that. So to see him down on the ground and trapped in a figure 4 and having to really struggle, I mean, he didn't have to struggle far because he's so freaking tall, but it was still very interesting to see, and the way the way they played it was so great. I really enjoy. I wrote down as this note Kaito having an answer for the choke slam until he didn't. Yeah. He really did. He was reversing that choke slam in every which way he could until Hikuleo just went enough, power slammed him, and kind of took him out there. Yeah, I was definitely. I expected Kaito to pick up the win here, but good for Hikuleo because he's kind of closing out his tournament on a high note, and I kind of love that for him.
Yeah, and again, he's a younger guy, and I think he really could use this, and again, it's really good for him to beat a guy of the stature of Kaito Kiyomiya.
I agree.
We move on. It's YOSHI-HASHI versus Great Khan. Khan takes Yoshi down early, gets the arm triangle choke, stands him up at one point, judo tosses him, reapplies the choke. But Yoshi does get to the ropes. Mongolian chops to the back in the corner. Khan sits on Yoshi's head, then hits a backdrop for 2. Yoshi gets a drop kick to the knee and starts the attack, and hits a headhunter, hangs Khan on the ropes, gets a drop kick in the ropes, and then gets the top rope blockbuster for 2. Excuse me. Beautiful torture rack into the neck breaker by Great Khan.
Oh, it was a neck breaker. Okay, I called it a cutter because I didn't know what else it was.
Well, it was essentially the inverted TKO because he brought him down with landing on his back. So I looked at that as more as a neck breaker than a cutter.
Okay.
So it's just it's how you look at it, right? Sheep killer's applied, then the sleeper suplex is hit, followed by the Tenzan tombstone driver. And this one he actually hit properly. But Khan only gets 2 because Yoshi kicks out. YOSHI-HASHI reverses the eliminator, gets a DDT. Lariats are traded, and this is where Yoshi kind of overpowers, which I was like, okay. And Yoshi hits the dragon suplex, then another lariat, and it follows it up with a sit-out powerbomb. Then I'm like, this dude is like way bigger than you. Shouldn't be doing power bombs on him. Yoshi gets the lariat in the corner and the super kick, followed by a Kumaguroshi, but only gets 2. And then Khan reverses karma, but YOSHI-HASHI gets the super kick, but Khan then hits the eliminator, and it takes the tournament away from YOSHI-HASHI.
Yes. Khan needed this win. He needed this win. He's been having a rough G1 this year.
Yoshi needed the win to stay in it. He really did.
He really did. And Great Khan really, again, not having a great tournament. G1 before, we were seeing that adaptability. What was that?
I picked him.
Yeah, I mean, the adaptability that he was showing us last year was just incredible. And despite picking up, like, again, a lot of losses in the G1 last year, he's still like the impressiveness was just so undeniable.
Mhm.
This year, Ocon has kind of been, I don't want to say stagnant, but he's been quiet in comparison to how he was last year. And we've seen that kind of, I don't want to say comfortable or maybe casual Great Khan kind of come out in the United Empire, where he's teaming with Cobb, where he's teaming with Hanari. And he's like, these are his guys. And he acts like that. He doesn't act like the warlord, the mongrel kind of person that he was when he first came on. Now that we've seen him start to go back to that a little bit more serious Ocon and start showing that kind of warlord, mongrel guy, whatever they are, Ocon, he's picking up wins. He's starting to look even more dominant. We're starting to see that adaptability again. So I think we're seeing the evolution of the Great Ocon in this tournament. It's unfortunate that he's not picking up more wins, but I have hope that he can pick up maybe one or two more before the end of this.
But he's got one more. They've had one more match after this show.
Mm-hmm.
So I really do hope he gets to play a spoiler to somebody on that final night. I really do hope so.
Mm-hmm. Same.
So we move on to Ren Narita versus Chase Owens. Chase was a dick at the start of this.
Yes, he was.
Just slapping the shit out of Narita, calling
So
him
rude.
you're still a young lion, you suck, and like telling him he's just complete shit. And then Narita just like comes back, fighting him out to the floor, runs him into the barricade, and gets a DDT suplex in the ring. Like Chase was just such an asshole. But then he's got a comeuppance. That's for god dang sure. They end up back on the floor. Chase is whipped into the barricade, but he dodges the kick when he's on the post, and Narita goes into the post. Chase then picks him up, hits the backdrop onto the apron. He gets a neck breaker in the ropes, and then back in the ring, he's applying the nerve hold. Nice running back elbow in the corner and the DDT suplex by Narita. Chase breaks the rear naked choke by running Narita throat first into the ropes. Like he ran forward and like dropped and like pulled like Narita. He went right into the throat, right into the ropes. Looked really good. Narita with some suplexes, but Chase ends up clapping the ears. And Chase gets the C trigger, but Narita stops the package pile driver. C trigger, then a back elbow. And Chase goes for Jewel Heist, but it gets reversed into the Cobra Twist. But just as Chase is getting to the ropes, Narita switches into the rear naked choke, pulls him back to center, reapplies Cobra Twist, and Chase pretty much just taps out like immediately.
Well, did you see his neck? The angling on his neck? He had him like right. He was pretty much listening to his blood flow in his shoulder. I tapped out.
Oh god, dude, that was again. It's a standing twister. That does not look pretty.
No bueno. No fun. About that package pile driver, I mean, I've mentioned before, that is one of my favorite moves. It's just so effective and so good, and he makes it look so good. But can we just talk about a second how long he freaking held Narita in that pile driver setup, in the package pile driver setup, on, as Kevin kept saying, that injured knee of Chase Owens. Like, Narita was up there, and he was kicking. Chase was fighting him. So that's impressive that he was able to hold him for as long as he did before. Like, Narita escaped, sure. But he held him up there for a good long while on a pretty buggered knee. And that's pretty impressive. Yeah, I actually didn't expect Narita to pick up a win. I expected Chase to actually win this one, especially with the way the match was kind of flowing. They're definitely starting to step away from that NJPW template, which I like. Because it creates surprise for me. But yeah, otherwise, I felt this was just a straight up really good technical match between both of these guys. Chase usually has that very technical kind of background, and he really did flex it in this one against Narita. But Narita, man, that training did him good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really did enjoy this. And that Narita looked really good, looking really strong, especially with that Cobra twist. Again, looked dominant without. Again, he hasn't had a great. He's got a couple good strong draws.
He's Mr. Twister.
And then he's had a winner. It's his second win. Or no, this is his first actual win. This is actually his first pinfall.
Legit
or
win.
anything. This is his first actually legit win. So you got to look at that and go, this guy needed, I think he needed this.
In his block, yes. 100% he did.
Yeah.
Because I think all the other young boys have also picked up their win. Shota's picked up his win.
Oh, Shota's doing really. Shota, we'll talk about it at the end of this show. He's doing really good.
Yeah, Shota's doing better than I think he should be doing.
Mm-hmm. We move on. It's Taichi versus El Fantasma. ELP. ELP won in the handshake at the start, and we actually get a clean handshake.
But let me tell you, though, was it really a handshake, or was it like Taichi just going, He definitely offered the hand, not a handshake. It was more of a princess and...
I've shook enough wrestlers' hands that a lot of them do that dead fish handshake. So,
boys,
when I was ring announcing, I shook enough hands in the locker room that a lot of guys were.
Gentlemen, do not do that. Come on, show some professionalism.
Yeah,
it's a freaking handshake.
Yeah, so they start trading boot shots. Taichi gets the kicks and kicks to the leg of dropping ELP. Then they're trading chops. ELP gets a head scissors, sending Taichi to the floor. And he hits the plancha, hits the thrust kick, hits the acai moonsault. And then it's Kevin Kelly bringing him over to chop Taichi right in front of the Taichi fan club.
Yeah, so those three guys love Taichi there.
Yeah. Taichi gets a strike off the springboard of ELP, hits a dangerous backdrop, gets the Cobra twist, and goddamn, was that a Cobra twist? Again, like Kevin Kelly says, he does it the All Japan way or the Noah way, and like pushing down on the neck to really stretch out the rib and stretch out the neck. I really looked really good. Taichi dodges a super kick, hits a Gamengiri. Axe bomber by Taichi looked really good and hits the backdrop, the dangerous backdrop with the bridge, but ELP kicks out at 2 and he comes back with a super kick for 2. Taichi reverses CR2 into the super kick, or thrust kick in Taichi's case. Taichi clutch for 2, then the ELP clutch for 2. They trade strikes. ELP dodges the thrust kick, hits his own super kick, and gets the ELP clutch for the win.
This one surprised me, and like a pleasant surprise, because like I love ELP. He's entertaining, but I also really like Taichi. So it was like I was a little torn on who I was cheering for in this match. But this was a straight up great wrestling match. Like this if someone was casually interested in watching NJPW, this would be a match I would recommend to them. This is a very, very solid match and showed the best of what Japan has to offer, but also what NJPW, what ELP is. The thrust kick that Taichi caught ELP with, though, in that little sequence that you had been mentioning where he, with the CR2 and the thrust kick, holy heckin' shit. That was, I would actually say, like a Leo Rush-esque finesse kind of thrust kick, where Taichi was pretty much in that perfect, like his foot was all the way up, and like ELP's a tall guy. He had his foot all the way up, and ELP was standing all the way up. It was so good, so good. Do we see the irony in this, that the Gato clutch is how the match was ended? I know it was the ELP clutch for ELP, but hear me out. The Gato clutch is something that Taichi took But then also Gato kind of is responsible for kicking ELP out of Bullet Club. Do we consider that a cruel irony?
Oh, wait, it very much is.
I love it. All I could hear was Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. Yes, it's like a cruel irony, like my dependence on you. It was great. It's great. Yeah, I had fun with this.
We move on. Oh, wait, did I? Oh, I skipped something. Shit. I skipped ahead. Put on my notes. It's like, wait, is it? No, okay. Sonata versus. No, but my notes were scrolled too far down. Sonata versus Gabe Kidd. This one was pretty goddamn good. Like, Kidd coming through the crowd, tossing chairs, yelling just nonsense at Kevin Kelly. Like, you couldn't really understand what he was saying.
I rewound it and watched it twice, and I was like, I'm actually not sure he's speaking English.
Well, even Kevin goes, and I don't know what he said. He said something to like, calling it gibberish or something. Again, he made a comment to that.
I know, but you can watch enough of those British shows, which I do, and you can catch on to some of the lingo that they use or whatever. No, I don't even know that. I don't think he was speaking English. I just think he was just. Oh,
no. Kevin's right. It was just gibberish. Him going. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like he was like baby talking. I don't know. It's like he was like the Peanuts adult or something.
Pretty much.
It was weird.
So Kidd attacks with his belt from behind while Sonata's on the apron. He ends up running Sonata into the barricade, gets a chair, shoves down Marty Asami, and then cracks Sonata over the head with the chair. Like, Kidd gets a backdrop driver, but only gets 2. Then he tosses Sonata over the top, back out. Kidd gets the world heavyweight title, Sonata's world championship, and puts it on his shoulder, starts parading around the ring with it like a dick. Just what an asshole. Kidd ends up whipping Sonata into the chairs and hits a cannonball onto a seated Sonata on the floor. Sonata drop kicks the knee, drop kicks Kidd. They end up back in the ring, and then he drop kicks the knee, drop kicks Kidd back up. Like most of this match, a lot of this match took place on the floor. Hits a plancha, runs Kidd into the barricades, hits a pile driver on the floor, but Kidd ends up getting right back up from it and running Sonata into the barricade. And Sonata gets back in just before 20, even though Kidd was the one that took the pile driver on the floor. He should have been the one getting just back in before 20. That one little bothered me. But Sonata hits a magic screw, hits the TKO, but misses the moonsault. Kidd up on top. Kidd biting. I think he was biting the ear.
Yes.
Of Sonata. Like,
gross.
Ugh. And gets the hanging guillotine choke on top. Then in back of the ring hits a brainbuster. Backdrop and Shining Wizard by Sonata, but Kidd gets a low blow, hits the pile driver, but can only get 2. Kidd shoves the ref out of the way, but misses, and then misses a moonsault coming off the top. Moonsault into the skull end, and then they end up trading positions and like reversing each other. They trade kicks, they trade strikes. Kidd hits this hard right to Sonata, dropping him. But then Sonata inadvertently, kind of going back to his LJ days, the inadvertent kicked the leg coming up and kicking the guy in the nuts.
I think what Kevin called it on commentary was the action-reaction action.
Yeah. So
we'll go with that.
Though Sonata gets back up, hits a Shining Wizard, gets deadfall, and Sonata gets the win. Sonata, after 6 matches, is undefeated.
I suspect he'll be one of the only ones.
I have a feeling he's pulling a Jay White from last year. He's going into the finals or into the quarterfinals, not having lost a match.
And you know what? I mean, I could see why they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Could see why they would do that. Yeah, you kind of pretty much covered everything that I wrote down, and I didn't write down a lot, except for it was a tremendous match. There was a lot of outside. Um, for some reason, I wrote a lot of groin shots, or at least a lot of attempts at groin shots. Um, you know how I feel about those. There's a time and a place. Give them all to Evil so that we get them all out of the way in one match, please. Yeah, but otherwise, I had a good time with this one. But yeah, the kid was very, very odd at the beginning of this. He did kind of level out as the match kind of got in. But yeah, there were some weird little nuances from him that kind of made me go, do we need a muzzle on that one?
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, this was actually for me actually one of the more entertaining matches from Sonata.
Oh, it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
We move on to Tanga Loa versus Will Ospreay. This match was tremendous.
Yeah.
The start of this, Loa lifting, like Ospreay gets the headlock, so Tanga Loa just lifts him and puts him on the apron, and he's fucking with him. He's like, "Come on back in the ring." And he goes to get back in the ring. He like steps in front of him. It was a funny little spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tanga Loa really having control early on with using his size and power. Loa hits a backdrop to Ospreay, sending him to the floor. Hits a backdrop onto the apron, then hits the Eddie Senton back into the ring. Follows it up with the three amigos, with the last one being a delayed amigo that he finishes off jackhammer style, but only gets two. Ospreay comes back with that handspring corkscrew kick, dropping Tanga Loa, and hits the haluva kick in the corner, then the phenomenal forearm for two. Loa, with those like short punches he was doing, and he like
yeah. You want to know what I called that?
What's that?
Sword hammer. He was essentially sword hammering him, chopping him in the throat, striking him down low. I loved it. So good. So fast. His strikes are super, super quick. And every time he hit with like force. Dominance. Very similar to Eddie Kingston. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Ospreay ends up flipping out of a German, gets a super kick and the hook kick. But then Tanga Loa goes for the ape shit, but then he slips out, hits another hook kick. But then Loa picks him up and hits a power bomb. Loa gets the strikes. Loa hits the headbutt, dropping Ospreay, but he comes back, gets the Kawada kicks and the strikes in the corner, but the ref breaks it up. Tanga Loa gets the hard forearm and hits the inside out lariat, but going to get two. He goes for ape shit, but Ospreay turns it into the Stun Dog Millionaire. Shades of Mr. Orange Cassidy, who we faced just a little over a year ago. And then hits the Oscutter for two. Ospreay goes up to the top, goes for Sky Twister, but misses. Lands on his feet, but then Loa rolls to the floor, so he goes for the plancha, but Loa just punches him on the floor. And Jesus Christ, Ospreay goes for the Oscutter off the barricade. Loa catches him and legitimately throws him into the fourth or fifth row.
Yeah.
Like,
yeet.
By God, he tossed him into like the fourth or fifth row of the chairs. And remember, there's a space between the barricades too. So that's like that is a serious yeet. So they go out and he tosses him, picks him up and throws him into the chairs harder. Loa goes back to ringside, but he doesn't get in the ring. So the ref's counting, and Ospreay gets there. It's like 17, and Tanga Loa spears the shit out of him. 18, 19 is called, and Loa slides in. Ref counts 20, and Ospreay gets counted out. Broke my heart slightly. Don't get me wrong, because Ospreay is my guy. God damn, was that a genius finish?
Brilliant. That was brilliant wrestling on Tanga Loa.
Well, and Kevin Kelly
to get a win on Ospreay, his first match after beating Okada. God damn.
Well, and I love the way Kevin was saying that he played it smart by not, because if he would have went into the ring and then come out for the spear, that would have broken the count. So by staying out and being smart about it and kind of hiding off to the side, Ospreay's not going to realize you're there, and you can stop him. And again, it was such a genius finish.
Absolute perfection. That was so good. So good. You know what else was perfection? Those hook kicks. Hot diggity damn. Those hook kicks are just so good. Anyone else just randomly throwing their foot back like that, I would not trust. But Ospreay, in Ospreay we trust. Yeah, you pretty much said everything I had. This is good. This was a freaking fun match, and good for Tangaloa, because I really am happy to see him getting a few points in this.
Mm-hmm. The guy got to show up and really put himself in this. I really like that. We move on to the semi-main event. Shota Umino, Yota Tsuji. Shota Umino starts it off. Quick drop kick into the shotgun drop kick off the start. Umino keeps knocking Tsuji down. Tsuji gets tossed in the corner, but gets that leg capture, face slam into the mat. Drop kicks Umino out and hits that suicide dive. Back in the ring, he hits the scoop slam and the Mount Tsuji.
Salmon splash.
Mount Tsuji.
Salmon splash.
Mount Tsuji.
Salmon splash.
You're wrong.
It will always be the salmon splash in my heart.
Umino hits an exploder, sending Tsuji to the floor. Gets the somersault senton off the apron to the floor. Back in the ring, he hits a top rope missile drop kick. Hits the inverted Bloody Sunday for 2. But when he tries to go for it, he tries for those keys to ignition. Tsuji hits the Tilt-A-Whirl backbreaker. Tsuji gets a backslide, rolling it through into the T-trigger, but the T-trigger is caught, and Umino whips Tsuji and gets to the drop kick. Head scissors by Umino to the floor, but Umino stops Ed Scissors sends Umino to the floor, but as he's going for the Fosbury flop, Umino cuts him off, pulls him through the ropes, drop kicks him in the ropes, hits the drive-by, and then that beautiful final beat DDT. I think it's the best one he's hit all tournament. That final beat DDT he did there. Umino lines up for Death Rider, but gets just backdropped over. The backbreaker and pulls him forward and gets that stomp that Tsuji did. Fuck yeah. Then he hits the running curve stomp, sets up the spear, but Umino gets the turns the spear into an STF. But Tsuji does get to the ropes. That double stomp that Umino got off the spear at the end. And then he finally found the keys to ignition and gets it too. I always think of that goddamn song. The keys to ignition. Mama rolling that body. Missing.
What song is this?
It goes. I can't remember what the name is, but it's like it's a freaking weekend, about to have me some fun. I don't remember the name, but
I do not remember this at all.
Oh, that's why every time I hear him say ignition, I just keep thinking of the song. So if you're listening to this and you hear me sing that and you know what I'm talking about, please tell me what I'm singing.
Wow, I don't know that one.
So cradle DDT by Umino, but again only gets 2. So Umino gets him up, goes for Death Rider, but gets popped up into a sick ass spear. And as I wrote it, Suki gets the win.
Suki. Oh, yay, Suki.
2 points for Mel.
Yay. Finally, you come through, you beautiful Gene Blast.
19 minutes and 20 seconds.
And let me tell you, one of my notes here was the anxiety that I was having at the 2-minute mark was just insane. And it only got worse as it counted down. I kind of was in the mentality that all of these young boys are all gonna have draws.
Mm.
So when Suji got the win, I like damn near threw my phone across the room. I was so excited. Yeah, these two, as you said, just beating the holy heckin' shit out of each other. Again, it'll always be the salmon splash to me. It just
Mount Suji.
he started doing it when people were doing that trend. Do you remember that trend that stupid people were doing where they would just randomly go like salmon or splash or trout and something and someone would just jump into a fucking fountain or something?
No, I
Because
don't
people
hang.
are
I don't.
freaking
I don't hang
stupid.
out with mentally challenged people.
I don't either. It was stupid people on the
Well,
internet.
I have one mentally challenged friend.
Shut up.
Oh no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking
You
about.
lie.
No, I'm talking about somebody else. Come on, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, 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 yeah. Anyway, yeah, his T trigger was just whew. It's Sushi's unique in ring ability is just so entertaining. But then he has this like I feel like LIJ is a perfect place for him because like Naito, he has this like undeniable charisma. I don't even know where it comes from, but you're interested in what it is that he's doing and you want to watch him.
Hmm?
Um the strikes that they were having towards the end there, right before the headbutt, was just so unreal. They were just so much trying to hurt each other. It was great. They worked so well together. And I really appreciated Kevin saying on commentary throughout the match that they were rivals when they were like young lions, and they were struggling always to one up each other and stuff. So to have Suji pick up a win over Shota, I feel that this is just kind of the beginning of what we're going to see with these two feuding going forward, and I live for it. That top rope Spanish fly by Suji was just freaking crazy. Again, his style just so unique, so cool. Um, yeah, that's all I have to say. This was
Really,
fun. I really love this match. And 2 points,
really.
Melba.
Yeah,
Thank
2 points from
Christ.
Melball. So we move on to the main event of the evening. In the blue corner, it's Kazuchika Okada versus the red corner, Kenta. I might have had those colors back mixed up.
Yeah.
So the first like 2-3 minutes of this match is Kenta doing his stalling shit. When Okada, like he'd roll to the outside, Okada would come out, he would go in. Okada would go in, he would go out. It's like the first couple minutes of this match.
Mhm.
Okada finally catches him, goes to work, but Kenta slips out, slams Okada into the apron on the floor, then into the barricade, and then smashes him into the post. Gets the chest kicks in the ring and hits a DDT and gets the inverted triangle. But Okada gets the ropes. I'll admit this probably wasn't my favorite match of the evening. Again, it was very Okada-ish. Kenta kicking Okada in the face, and Okada gets the strikes. They go back and forth. Kenta tries to chain DDT out of the corner, but gets placed back up top, and Okada drop kicks him to the floor. Okada tosses Kenta into the barricade, boots him over. Okada tries a green killer off the barricade, but Kenta runs him into the post, then he hits the barricade green killer. I don't think we got an Okada floor DDT on this show. It's one of the first
I
ones.
don't think we did either.
He's been hitting him like every show. But again, Kenta has that DDT counter, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the running boot in the corner and that hesitation drop kick in the corner
So
looked really good, and then hits the top rope double stomp. Okada fights back, gets the air raid crash neck breaker, applies the standing money clip, but Kenta runs Okada into the ref in the corner. This is where Kenta gets the kendo stick, unloads on Okada in the ring. Okada gets a shotgun drop kick and gets rid of the kendo stick. Where Kenta gets the Defy title, but Okada drop kicks him. So the Defy title did nothing in this match. He hits the short arm clothesline, but he gets rolled up on the Rainmaker. Okada hits a tombstone for 2. Kenta starts to fight back, gets those sick ass palm strikes. That is the God, I love those.
good.
And I've seen Bryan Danielson do the same thing. Because again, if you look at Bryan Danielson's offense, he's bored a lot from Kenta.
Mm-hmm.
He has bored those palm strikes. Like, goddamn.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets, you're thinking he's going for a Rainmaker, but he gets a Buseiku Maker and then hits a Buseiku knee for 2. Back fist by Kenta, but Okada gets the drop kick and catches the Buseiku knee and like picks him up and then puts him on his shoulder and brings him down. Landslide, tries a Maker, but I don't know what the fuck happened here, and they went toppling over. Like, I don't know. I didn't really see what the fuck happened there.
It was definitely a wiggle waggle there. I think there was a stumblage.
Yeah, so he picks him up, hits another landslide, hits the Rainmaker, and Okada wins in 19 minutes and 10 seconds. And it felt like quite a long night. Unlike the last match, this felt like a long 19 minutes.
Yeah, it drug. She drug. It was like she had an anchor around her waist, and we were just dragging her out of Davy Jones's locker. It was a little much. Yeah, I also don't like the rollouts at the beginning that Kenta does. For me, they become a little stagnant, almost like the House of Torture shenanigans. Evolve, do something else, because it kind of discredits him a little bit because we know how great of a wrestler Kenta is. So I feel it kind of brings down his value a little bit. The strikes and kicks from Kenta this match were just... Those were some Suri level strikes and kicks. I loved it. He was kicking hard. He was hitting hard. Did you see the Rainmaker pose attempt from Kenta? And like it was like the cameraman just went for it and went, "Wait, you're the wrong person," and stopped, but then went, fuck it, and did it anyway. So it like came in and went whoop whoop.
Well, yeah, when he lined up for the Buseiku Maker, that
was so funny.
Yeah,
so funny. And yeah, then I don't think that they actually managed to pull off Okada's Rainmaker pose properly.
No, definitely not.
As a result, which I found really funny. But yeah, this one it drug. It felt a bit long. I definitely think I would have liked the match before being the main and this one being the semi.
Yep, very much so. Yeah. I very much agree with that.
I understand why it wasn't, but
yeah. So I'm going to give a quick points rundown before we get out of here. A block, Sonata is guaranteed with 12 points, guaranteed into the finals. Hikuleo, Kaito Kiyomiya, Shota Umino, Gabe Kidd, and Yota Tsuji all have mathematical shots at getting into the finals. The only people eliminated in this block are Chase Owens and Ren Narita.
Interesting. Yeah. Do we want to take bets on if Chase upsets Sonata?
I think he could, but I don't think he will, because that would mean he'd be the King of Pro Wrestling challenger. I think you're getting whoever the King of Pro Wrestling challenger out of whoever beats him in the, I'm going to say, semifinals.
I mean, we'll see when we get there.
I would love to see Chase Owens win that match and be the challenger at King of Pro Wrestling or whatever the October show is. That would be pretty sick. But yeah, we still have a 5-horse race for second place. This is great. We move on to the B block. Okada is guaranteed to get in. But the question is, if Okada loses his final match against, against Tangaloa, and Ospreay wins his final match against El Fantasmo, will Ospreay go in first? Okada would still come in second. But the other thing is, if Okada wins, he automatically gets first if he wins. And then it's still a battle between Ospreay, Fantasmo, Taichi, and Tangaloa. So it's still up in the air. Like El Fantasmo and Will Ospreay are legitimately fighting to get into the final. They're getting to the second place.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
Craziness. I'm very happy that people better at math are doing the addition on this.
And there's always a possibility with if El Fantasma and Ospreay, no, they can't. If El Fantasma wins, he has a loss to Taichi. So if Taichi gets 8, Taichi would go in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tangaloa, he has the loss to Tangaloa. So Tangaloa has a shot at getting into the finals. Again, it's an interesting. Like if Tangaloa wins, since he has wins over those guys, he gets into there as long as Taichi doesn't get 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's all up in the air, man. So Great Khan, motherfucker, you need to play spoiler for Taichi. Gosh darn sure.
Yeah. Come on, Okan.
Yeah, we've got an interesting final day. So that'll be the Saturday, the 5th show. So the A block takes place on the 5th, B block takes place on the 6th, C block is on the 8th, and D block is on the 9th, and the quarterfinals are on. Oh shit!
Are on Chaos, Glorious Chaos.
And the finals are on. The quarterfinals are on my birthday on August 10th.
Yay! Birthday gifts for Andre.
Hopefully.
Isn't that nice when you get wrestling on your birthday?
It is, but the wrestling's going to be at super early in the morning, which is good. So I'll get up super early, watch that, then go back to sleep for a couple hours. It'll be great.
That'll be fun for you, sir.
Mm-hmm. It will.
Nice little birthday treat.
Yes, but it is time. It is over. We're going to go home because I want to go and sleep. Or actually, I'm going to go watch another 2.5 to 3 hours of wrestling and then go to bed. And it's already.
I'm already home. I don't know where you're going.
I'm home too. I don't know. My words are weird. So you can find this guy on Twitter, Mastodon, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Hive at That Canada Guy. Instagram and Threads at That Canada Dude. You can find me on our Facebook page at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk on Facebook, or you can comment down below at youtube.com/ at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. Comment there. Just reach out. We want to hear from all of you guys. And then I know I'm not there yet. You can find me over on Twitch, over on Our Local Establishment. We're there on twitch.tv/ Our Local Establishment. Also on YouTube at youtube.com/ at Our Local Establishment. You can find me this upcoming Saturday, where me and old Ed are going to be breaking down and previewing the SummerSlam card. So please check that out. And if you want to go back, if you're watching Secret Invasion, check out our Secret Invasion after shows. Watch an episode of Secret Invasion, watch us review it. You definitely want to check it out. Or if you don't want to watch Secret Invasion, just listen to us review it, because then you get us breaking it down.
There you go.
Yeah. And also, don't forget to hit up our boy Mike the Ref right up here. Backbreaker Video, youtube.com/ at Backbreaker Video, where you might be watching us. If you are, go over to our channel and give us a subscribe. You can see all Mike's live gaming content and wrestling watch-alongs at twitch.tv/ Mike the Ref. And you can see all the great replays of all the great gaming content from him at youtube.com/ at Backbreaker Video. Also, you have on that channel, you have youtube.com/ Backbreaker_gaming. I apologize. You have content from Mike the Ref. You have content from PJC. You have content from Rick Jules, and you also have their frequent guest, Kayla J. Melball, where can they find you, madame?
If you're wanting to follow Melball, you can follow me on Twitter at Collins Melball, or you can follow me at Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Blue Sky, and Facebook at Melball Collins. You can also find me on Our Local Establishments original programming, trying to remember what I was saying there. Paramindful with the gold standard Caro Carofel and Alex the Werewolf. We are about to be recording a new episode dropping on Monday. Gonna be about aliens, you guys. Aliens. You know, now that they exist, we can finally talk about them without them, getting in trouble or some shit, I guess. You don't want to miss out on that, though, because both Alex and Carl are super knowledgeable at aliens and stuff. And this girl she's struggling. So she needs some education on how to protect herself from these guys coming in. So we're going to hopefully cover some of that. You can also catch me on Astra Pizarro's YouTube channel with our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase, which we're going to be having again on Friday. Yay! And we got stuff to talk about. My goodness, we got Stardom stuff to talk about. We got local stuff to talk about. We got a pretty hot topic about women being how they're being kind of visualized in professional wrestling right now. We want to talk about it. We also have a Astra Pizarro's article just came out. AEW roster deserves better. Andre, what was the site she did? Was it Body Slam? BodySlam.net?
I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry, Asher.
I feel like it was Body Slam. I will link it in the description box below. Go give it a read. It is a tremendous article by a tremendously passionate woman about women's professional wrestling. So go check that out. If you are wanting to watch NJPW, we will leave a link in the description box below. It is NJPW-World.com. It is approximately 990 yen or approximately $10 Canadian or like 7 something, depending on what your dollar is right now. Either way, it's less than $10. It is worth the price to have a month's worth of amazing professional wrestling. And that being said, my friend, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
I just want to say thank all of you so much for the great support. Please keep on liking the videos, subscribe to the channel down below, comment down below because we want to hear from you. Any suggestions on anything, please let us know. Any of your opinions on professional wrestling we want to hear. And also, please don't forget to hit the notification bell to be alerted whenever we drop new videos.
Ding dong.
Hello. Shout out to Bailey.
Yes.
But it's time to get out of here.
Yes. That being said, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will see you. No, you did not.
I did.
Oh, sir. Threw off my groove.
Trigger warnings, you know.
Ooh, we will see you next time. Adios.